Hello guys, welcome back to Superhero Maniac, your one-stop destination for all the superhero updates. Today we are going to break down the 4th episode of Moon Knight and tell you all the Easter eggs and little details we found. This episode was a visual ride from the deep tombs of Emmett to a full white mental asylum, giving us a much needed look into the mind of a Moon Knight. This episode also pays homage to the Egyptian mythology and is filled with lots of references. Let's dive in. The episode picks up directly from the events of last episode. It kicks off with Osiris or his avatar carrying the Ushapti in which Khonshu was trapped in the end of episode 3. He places it on a shelf and we see at least 9 other similar Ushapti placed inside the wall. This suggests that in the past other gods have also been trapped in the stone by Enid. This explains the empty seats in the Council of Enid seen in the last episode. Earlier speculation suggested that the missing gods were killed by Gore the God Butcher, who is also confirmed to be the main villain in the upcoming movie Thor Love and Thunder. But now it seems like things are taking a different turn. We are cut to Lila and Steven unconscious in the middle of the desert. The sky seems to have restored to its present day state, and with Khonshu trapped in stone, the suit is gone. As Mark points out to Steven, without Khonshu there is no more suit, no more healing, no more power. This is an interesting overshadow given that Marks gets shot later in the episode. Lila saves them from Arthur's goon and drives away towards Emmett's tomb. On reaching, we are met with seemingly vacant evacuation site. After scavenging for supplies, Lila and Steven finds their way into the tomb. Before entering, Lila and Steven share a moment kissing. Lila can't help falling for the absolute nerdiness and simplicity of Steven, with something charming about his demeanor from the beginning. Steven also reveals to Lila that Mark has been distancing himself from her because he believes that she might be Khonshu's next choice for an avatar. As they enter the tomb, there is a panther-like statue on the gate. This deity is none other than Bast, the goddess of Black Panther. In the comics, Bast was one of the most powerful members of the Enid and the daughter of Egyptian god Ra. On going further into tomb, Steven and Lila find out that it's actually a maze with 6 paths. Steven deciphers that the structure is based on Eye of Horus. In Egyptian mythology, the Eye of Horus is a symbol of prosperity and protection in afterlife. It is also known as the Eye of Mind and represents the 6 organs. Steven figures out that the avatar will be the voice of Emmett and thus takes the path pointing towards the tongue. Inside their meat with bullets and fresh blood, they realize that the last avatar of Emmett was a pharaoh. Later revealed to be Alexander the Great, and Heka priests have been buried in the tomb to protect the pharaoh in his afterlife. In Egyptian mythology, Heka is the god of power and medicine. There is also a mention of Heka in the Marvel comics where an Egyptian sorcerer named Hekanut exists. Lila also describes them as the sorcerers of their century. We see a Heka priest dissecting one of Hero's goons. This priest seems to rely on clicking sounds to sense the environment, and we get a lot of horror movie vibes from the scene. Lila distracts the Heka priest and the two get separated. Lila crosses a deep chasm while Steven finds himself in the chamber where the last voice of Emmett was buried. Lila fights off the Heka priest, throwing him into the chasm, full Tomb Raider vibes. Lila comes across Arthur Harrow, who tells her some intimate details of her childhood and confirms for us that the origin story of this Moon Knight is similar to that in the comics. In the comics, Mark Spector was a mercenary who, along with his partner Raoul Bushman, went to rob an archaeological site. Bushman got greedy and killed all the archaeologists, including Abdullah Al Fali, the lead archaeologist, and Lila's father. When Mark tries to stop him, Bushman would injure him and leave him to die. Mark somehow manages to reach Khonshu's idol, begging him for his life. Khonshu saves him and makes him his avatar, Moon Knight. We also saw in the second episode that Mark was accused of the execution of some archaeologists years back. On the other side, Steven figures out that the sarcophagus in the chamber belongs to the Alexander the Great, who was the last voice of Emmett. Steven retrieves the Ushapti of Emmett from the mummy's throat. Lila comes into the chamber confronting Mark about what Harrow told her. Mark confirms it. Harrow arrives and shots Mark. Harrow shots Mark twice, maybe one for Steven and one for Mark. Personalities he knows of. Mark falls into the water and is shown to be falling deeper and deeper, perhaps entering a state of coma or a different realm. The next 10 minutes of the episode were some of the most mind-bending Shutter Island type stuff we have seen in the MCU. The black screen cuts to a small screen old movie clips, a cheap production of Indiana Jones. It was similar to the TV shots in WandaVision. This clip has Dr. Stephen Grant and they talk about a Lena god but from a different ancient civilization, the Aztecs. We find out that this is actual a movie playing on a TV in an all-white asylum similar to one at the end in the Joker movie. Most of the patients are people who have appeared in Mark's life over the course of the last 4 episodes. We have Donna, Stephen Grant's boss from the gift shop, the followers of Harrow who posed as police officers in episode 2, we have the golden statue guy Crowley and even Lila. We find Mark sedated and tied to his wheelchair just like we would tie himself to his bed, trying to find Stephen. This makes us wonder if all that we have seen till now was all in Mark's head. Our beliefs further consolidates as we find out that Harrow is a doctor in the asylum handling Mark's case. A lot of the decoration in his office is inspired from Egyptian mythology and Marx gets more and more bewildered as the effect for drugs start to fade. Actually, a very similar story has already taken place in 2016 Jeff Lemre's comic run of Moon Knight. In the comic, Mark wakes up in the asylum surrounded by people from his daily life. As he tries to escape the place, he realizes that the entire scene was set his own god master Khonshu who did this to further break Mark's mind and himself take control of his body. At the end, all the personalities of get balanced to become one, suggesting a possible ending to this series, but as we know that Khonshu is trapped away, this might be author playing games with the broken mind of Mark. Mark, while running around the asylum, finds Stephen inside a sarcophagus, leaving them and us confused as ever. An interesting detail is the other unopened sarcophagus in the room which suggests a third personality of Mark Spector. This could be the same personality that killed Harrow's follower in episode 3, making him more brutal and deadly of the three. In the comics, there is a third personality of Mark Spector named Jake Lockley. The episode ends with a strange hippopotamus deity in Egyptian attire greeting Mark and Stephen in a girly voice. This is Tuaret, the Egyptian goddess of childbirth and fertility, and acts as a helper in afterlife. Although Tuaret has never appeared in the comics, her presence might be the first indication that all of this is not real. She may also connect to the mother Stephen was speaking to in episode 1, although nothing can be said for sure. She might also be the Egyptian god that saves Mark after being shot. So guys, that was the complete breakdown of episode 4 of Moon Knight. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please like, comment and share this to your friends. Also, if you enjoy superhero related content, subscribe to our channel. See you guys in the next one.